Why hello and welcome back to another episode of Voice of the Rings, and today we're doing a Lord of the Rings Rise to War Legacy playlist video. And I want to do a quick video, really quick and precise, of how do you switch your ability on your weapon in Rise to War to a new one with the same ability, like same weapon. Okay, so for example, right, we're talking about, I'm going to give you the example of this Dwarven hammer. So I have a war hammer here. It has 9%. It's really good. I like the buff on it, but I'm going to show you how to switch it back and forth. What if I want to use the same weapon with all its stars, starred up, fully upgraded, and I'm going to use the same weapon, but instead of Dwarven strength, as you know, you can click this thing up here, right? I want to use, and then click over here, shows you all the abilities this hammer could have. What if I wanted to use Shatter or Conclusion instead? Okay, so I have some other hammers right down here, right? So a Shatter, these are all Shatter and Dwarven Strength. So I'm going to use a Dwarven Strength. So for what you need to do this with, okay, is you have to refine with it. So, and now a lot of people are like, do you lose stuff? No, you don't. So let me explain real quick how the process works. So when you take this warhammer, first you strengthen this one time. So I'm going to strengthen this one time with anything you have. I'm just going to use one of these bows. All right, so I'm going to strengthen it once, right, because you have to have one star on it to refine it, right? So now what's going to happen is we're going to go over to it again. So now, as you can see here, of course, the refine button's right behind my camera, right, as you know if you play Rise to War. So if I click the refine button right here next to strengthen, what's going to happen is I have to refine it. So now what I can do is to pull out all the stuff of that other weapon, I'm going to refine with the fully starred warhammer. I know it's terrifying. You're like, oh no, am I going to mess stuff up? Don't worry, I will show you. You will exactly be able to use all the stuff that was in this one to refine this new one, this shattered one. Okay, so let me go through all the steps. So I'm going to go click OK. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. Now it says out of here 10/1, right? So what it's gonna do is it's going for all the strengthening pieces you use to strengthen this other warhammer. Those will turn into worn weapons, right? Or worn pieces of whatever you're removing out of it. And then all the ones you use to refine this fully refined hammer, all those hammers and their abilities will be taken out. So I'm gonna have a bunch more hammers. Remember how I only had 3 level 1 hammers? This is gonna go watch. So I'm gonna refine it and watch what happens. Okay, so boom. Wonderful. Now I'm going to back out, and if you look, I have a ton of hammers now. Look how many hammers I have. So I had 3, right? Well, now I have this. We'll see how it glowed. It brought back, so these are new. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hammers, which is how many you need to refine an item to full 5 stars. Now, if you also look, and I forget where, can I see the, I don't think I can see my broken pieces in this. I think that's in my items, right? Let's see. Ah, there it is. Look at that. I have 19 worn out weapon shards now. So it pulled out all of the weapons that I used to strengthen that hammer with, okay? So now you know how to do it. Now let me show you the steps of doing it. So I wanted this to be a fast and efficient video for you if you're someone that really wants to know about this. So I'm going to strengthen it. So what you're going to do is use your worn out weapon pieces. Don't use your regular hammers you just got, because that will ruin them. Don't be careful what you're using, right? So you're using your worn pieces that you just got out. So this is what you originally strengthened the first hammer with, right? And remember, this is the one that has the shatter buff on it, right? Again, I don't want the shatter buff, but I will put it back later. This is just an example of how to switch your ability on your weapon. And you don't lose anything, guys, if you do it right. So you strengthen it once, right? The new hammer. That's the first step. Strengthen it once, then take your item that's fully done with full stars and everything and refine the one you just strengthened once. Refine it. Don't strengthen with it. Refine with it. Okay, that's the big thing, okay? You'll refine with that weapon on the new one, and then it's going to pull out all the hammers that you refined with on that fully done one, and it'll pull out all the shards, which we're using right now, again, like these worn out shards, right? And you don't lose anything. You keep every single thing you do it, as long as you're just careful that you use your fully done one to refine the new one that you want to use the ability on the new one. So there we go. So now we have that, and now I can click the refine button, right? And now there is something I'm going to be careful with here. When you refine it, remember, I want to put it back to Dwarven Strength. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to refine with everything but the Dwarven Strength, because I want to switch it back. Of course, I have a lot. But again, this is what you do. And now you just can go through and you can use the hammers that it pulled out. Remember, it pulled them all out. So you should be able to do them all, right? And you can just keep going through and refine it back up all the way to the top. And I'm going to do it one more time for you guys if you just are a little bit confused the first time. And I'll step by step talk about it one more time. because this is really important, and I know it's very nerve-wracking, especially for people who are more free to play with this game, and like you're trying to get a full weapon and you're like, oh gosh, I hope I don't mess it up, because you know I really need this to work. So again, there we go, boom, we have fully startup weapon there. There's our full upgrade on it, right? There's our 5-star new one with shatter. Right, now let's explain it one more time. Okay, so again, I still have 3 hammers. You notice I still have 3 hammers like we began with, and I have a full start, but look what ability it has now, shatter, right? So I didn't lose anything, I didn't gain anything. You don't gain anything from that, but you don't lose anything if you do it right. So again, now let's say I want to switch this from shattered back to dwarf's damage, allied dwarf's damage dealt. Okay, so again, what is the first step? First step, the item that you want its ability on, right, that has no thing on it, you strengthen it once. You don't have to strengthen it with a hammer. You can if you want, but you don't have to. I actually have a worn out piece, so I'm gonna use that one, okay? Strengthen, right? Again, remember, refining, that's why you need to keep the same item for refining. So here is where you back out. Now I wanna use this, so I'm gonna click refine. It has 1 star on it. So now I'm gonna click this one, and I'm gonna use the fully one we just did, shattered, refining it. Can't say that enough, guys. Don't strengthen with it, refine with it. Okay, refining with it will pull out all the stuff you strengthened with it and all the stuff you refined with it. Okay, so I'm gonna click refine. Again, it says 10 out of 1, so we see we didn't lose any items. We didn't lose any hammers or any our upgrading components. There we go. So now again, we have tons of hammers. Oh my gosh, all the hammers, right? And now I'm just gonna go back in and I'm gonna strengthen again. You're gonna get all your shards back, right? Go through strengthen, right? I'm gonna do it anyway right now, right on the video, so you can kind of see. Again, it's really not that scary and not that hard once you see it. It's done, right? But, and this works the same with everything, with even with golds, right? But still, make sure the things you have to think about are, make sure you, when you upgrade it once, strengthen it once so it can be refined, right? And then once you have it refined, once you have it strengthened with 1 star, then refine it with the one you're using to replace, like using its components to upgrade this one's special spell. So again, this is about switching your ability on that weapon, right? Again, this won't work if you're trying to switch to like from a hammer to a bow, right? Because again, when I refined it, it pulled out a bunch of hammers. You're not gonna use the hammers to be able to refine a bow, right? You all know that. You should know that, right? If you've been playing this game, you can only refine with the same item. But strengthen, you can strengthen with any other item as long as it's the same color, right? Same rarity. Okay? Does that everyone follow that pretty well? And again, now I'm gonna refine. And remember, if there's a certain one you already had, like this Dwarven Strength one, I'm not gonna strength. I had a couple extras. Since I pulled out a few Dwarven Strength ones, I'm actually gonna leave those out because I'd rather upgrade one of those later, a little higher level with Dwarven Strength, because the shatter and stuff, it's not quite as helpful. And then 3 more. And then when I'm done here, I should have 3 hammers left. We're back. We did a full flip. So I just flipped the ability twice, right? Just remember which one you're doing. Strengthen the level 1, strengthen the new one that you want its ability on once. Refine with the original one that you want to switch the ability from, right? So I was switching to this one. And then you have all that stuff pulled out. Strengthen with your shards to full, which we just did to get this back up. And then refine with all your hammers that you got pulled out of the original one. And then you have switched the ability successfully, and you do not gain or lose anything, and you have switched your ability. You're set. So if that helped you out, guys, if you like this kind of stuff, I do a lot of Lord of the Rings content on this with Lotro too, and this is my RiseToWar playlist. Thank you to my Patreon, you guys are awesome. So if I did earn it, guys, and this helped you out, subscribe button, be great, it's free. Next episode will be up there for RiseToWar Legacy, and my Lotro Tale is over there as my main content. So I'll see you guys all in the next episode of Voice of the Rings. See ya. Have a great day in Middle Earth.